Hey guys, Paradoxio here. Welcome back to a brand new video, everyone. This is episode 15 of our Building a Discord Bot in Python 2024 and 25 edition. And in this video, we are going to be creating buttons or a button menu for our Discord bot to have. And we can use these buttons for a lot of different things. You can use them to give you self-roles. You can use them really just about anything. You can use these buttons to make a calculator for your Discord bot. You can use these buttons for moderation purposes, like confirming to ban someone, etc. Just a lot of different things you can really do here. But basically what these buttons are is just a view, and these buttons act as their own simple GUI, similar to how a modal works. And they have nothing to do with the actual text or chat. It's just something that comes up on your screen when you run the command. And these are all interactable. We can customize them, etc. But before I get into building these buttons with you guys, I wanted to just take a minute and essentially let you guys know that this is the last video of the Discord.py 2025 series. And, well, there's not much of a reason I can give as to why I'm ending it here, other than the fact that we pretty much covered everything that you can really do with a Discord bot today. And a lot of these videos can allow you to actually learn new stuff with Discord bots. And even though this is the only 15th video, and it's just really a small series, it would take you just a day over 2 weeks to complete if you were watching a tutorial each day. Even though it's small, we covered just about all the needed material to actually build yourself a proper Discord bot. And that's why I'm ending the series today. Now, that does not mean that I will never talk about Discord bots and programming them on this channel ever again. It just means that I don't plan on making another series on Discord bots in Python, unless Discord comes out with some major update where it's really worth getting back into the whole series again. Now, with that being said, I will be eventually releasing a full course on building a Discord bot in Python, and in the future I do plan to make another series like this one, but in something else like JavaScript instead of Python, maybe in C#, Java, etc. Just not in Python for the time being, until at least we get a major update. But that's all I really wanted to tell you. There will be more updates on that statement later down the line. I will be updating you guys more on that in my Discord server, so if you haven't already joined, be sure to join. Link will be in the description. But that's enough rambling. Let's go ahead and get on to making these buttons. Now, first thing I want to do is I want to go to my browser, and I want to go to discord.py's documentation. And it will be this top link right here, discordpy.readthedocs.io. And in here, let's just search up views. And let's see, interactions, API reference, and it should be somewhere here. Let's see. I'm sorry. UI. There it is. UI. We have UI.model. Let's see. And let's just find it. There's a lot on this documentation, but it's this one right here, discord.ui.view. And this is what we're going to be using. We're going to be creating a view for these buttons. And the reason why I'm bringing up the documentation is because this is some more complex things we can really do with Discord bots. They're newer. I think buttons are a few years old. So a lot younger, or a lot newer, I should say, compared to the other stuff that discord.py has to offer. Now, with that being said, keep in mind there might be some bugs with these, but overall, these work pretty well, and this is where we will be when we need to consult the documentation for creating our buttons. So there's a lot of different things. Add item, which is something we're going to be using later on in this video. And there's a bunch of other methods that you guys should definitely check. I think we're going to be using interaction check as well. So, other than that, that's all I really wanted to show you. So just be sure that you find discord.ui.view, and under there you'll be able to look at all the stuff we can do with these views, including creating buttons. So that's about it. Now let's go ahead and get started. So to create a section for us to have buttons, we need to, well, create a view. And creating a view is relatively similar to how we create a modal. First, we need to define a class, and we can call this my view for an example. And inside here, instead of putting in discord.ui.modal, it's just discord.ui.view. After that is def init, and then self, and then it is super dot init. And that's really it. After that, it is at discord.ui.button, and then we can create a label here, and we can just type in click me, and then we can give it a style. And this could be discord.button style. And there's a bunch of different styles, and this is going to affect mainly the color. So we have primary, which I think is just a blurple. Secondary, I'm not sure what that one is, but we have red. We have URL style, which I think makes it look more like a hyperlink. There's a bunch of different stuff we can really do here. And then we have gray, green, and we have the other gray, which does the same thing, just spelled differently. Let's do just green. And that's really it. Now, under here, we can write the function for what we want to do when our button gets clicked. And that's basically it. We can just await interaction.response.sendMessage, button clicked. And that's how we can create a simple button. And when we click it, it'll just send a message into the channel saying button clicked. Now, to actually get this to work, we need to create a slash command to bring this little button menu or view that we have made into the chat. So at bot.tree.command, name is equal to button underscore test. And description is button test. And then async def button test interaction discord.interaction. And then we are going to create a view. So view is equal to my view. And then await interaction dot response dot send message. Now, I know last time it was send modal, but for views, it is just send message. And then inside here, we just type in view is equal to view, or whatever we decided to declare our view class was. And by the way, you can send embeds in here, so you can pass an embed argument if you would like. And why would you do this? Well, maybe you want to have some instructions to go with your little view or your button menu. So you can create an embed in this same function here and pass that into the send message method to send that embed along with our buttons. And of course, we can also create an ephemeral and set it to true if we only want the person who invoked the command to see it. And that's basically it. We can go ahead and run our bot. Make sure we did everything correctly. All right. And then I'm going to come here and restart Discord. And I'm doing that so that way I refresh the application commands. And we should be able to go back to our test server. And now we should be able to have button underscore test. And then we have this little button menu pop up. And let's try to click it. And the interaction failed. So let's see what we did wrong. Button attributes has no, object has no attributes response. All right, so let's see what we did here. All right, give me 1 second, guys. I will be right back. All right, guys, so I fixed it. It just took me about a minute, but basically what happened was for our button click function here, I had the button argument first and an interaction second when it actually needs to be the other way around. So that was my mistake. But after I've ran the bot and written the slash command or invoked it, I can now click this button as many times as I want, and I will get the button clicked message in the chat. So that's how we can create a simple button in discord.py. Now, what do we usually use buttons for? Well, like I said at the beginning of the video, we can use them for just about anything we can really imagine. We can create little calculators. We can actually create pages with these. So if we have an embed, like a help command, we can have buttons for next page, previous page, and basically we would just edit the embed and send a brand new one. We can do stuff like that. Some of our commands, we might want to have a confirm or stop button. That way, if we change our mind about invoking that command. But probably for the most useful reason for these buttons is self rolls. We all love ourselves some self rolls. Now, what we could do is instead of awaiting the interaction here, we could just get a roll, like roll is equal to interaction dot guild dot get roll, and then we can just paste in the ID right here, and then we can type in interaction dot user dot add rolls, and then paste in the roll variable like that. We could do that, but there's a better practice for this, and this practice actually allows you to set roles in different servers for self roles. So what we can do to actually have that work is we can remove this here, and we can create a for loop to add as many self roll buttons as we need. Now, to determine how many self roll buttons we want to have, it's going to be based on how many self rolls you want. Now, preferably, we would want to use a database to store all of our self rolls. So when you query the results for how many self rolls exist in a guild, we would use that number to put in a range loop. So let's say I have 10 self rolls in this guild I am wanting to set up this self roll system for. Well, I would type in for I in range, and then I said 10, so I'd put in 10 right here. Now this 10, I'm just making up, random number. What we'd actually put here is the amount of rows queried from the database where we are storing our self rolls. So make sure you put that number here. Let's just say 10. Then what I can do is I can type in self dot add item. And whoops, looks like I did something wrong. Oh, just gotta indent that. So self.add item, and then we can type in discord.ui.button. And then for the label, what I'm gonna do is I'm going to create an F string, and I'm gonna type in roll number, let's do number I+1. And the reason why I'm adding 1 is because in a range loop, we start at I is equal to 0. All right. And we can give these a style. So style is equal to discord.py button style, and let's do blurple this time. And then we need to give our button a custom ID. And this custom ID is going to help us determine which role to give the user, because we want to give the role that is actually related to the button they click. If they click the give member role button, then we want to give them the member role, and we can do this by comparing the custom ID. So custom ID, I'm going to set equal to, we can call this button underscore and then I+1. Or if you want to keep it simple, you can just set it equal to I+1 like that. And I think this is, okay, so this is actually a string, so we want to convert this to a string, I+1 like that. Now, you can also set a custom ID in the database. If you write a command to set your self roles, you can set a custom ID for it, like for an example, if you want to just call it member role, you can do that. You can just store it in a separate column in your database. But once we do that, we now need to create a function to actually check our buttons and which one we clicked. So async def, and we can call this interaction check. Pass in self, interaction, discord.interaction, return a bool. And then we need to get the custom ID. So ID is equal to interaction dot data, and then custom ID. And the reason why we are writing it this way instead of just indexing it or whatever is because we are pulling this from a dictionary, or essentially pretty much JSON data, if you will. That's pretty much what this data will look like if we tried to print it out to the console. And then await interaction dot response dot send message. And I know this is not for a role, but this is just to show you how it knows which button we clicked. And there we go, just for better context. And that's it. And then afterwards, we need to return true. And this allows the interaction to be processed and finished. And that's really it. So now if I go ahead and run this command, or I'm sorry, this bot, I should say, come back here, run our slash command, we now have 10 different roles. Now, one thing I want to mention is that you can only have up to 25 buttons per message. So whenever you are writing your self-role system, be sure to keep in mind 25 buttons maximum. That means you can only have 25 different self-roles. So let's test this out. Let's click roll 1, and we're gonna get an error. I already knew it. Perfect. Let's see what we did wrong. And let's see. Oh, I know what we did. That was indented and shouldn't have been. Let's restart our bot. Button test. Click roll 1. You have pressed button roll number 1. Let's do 9. You have pressed button roll number 9. Let's do 3. Button roll number 3, 6, button roll number 6, 10, button roll number 10. So basically, this demonstrates how we can get the custom ID of our button. And pretty much if we want to have the role based on custom ID, we can type in something like if ID is equal to member role. Then in here, we would give the user the member role, basically. So give member role to the user / interaction author. And then you would have this check for numerous other roles, but that's only if you aren't using a database and you're hard coding the roles. If you are using a database, you can just store the role ID that matches the custom ID for the button itself. But that's going to be for you guys to figure out. It is pretty simple. I might actually show that on the full course. But that's basically it for creating buttons. Pretty simple. We can have up to 25 buttons. Just keep that in mind whenever you are creating your button commands. And there's a lot of different things we can do. We can even make a list of button styles if we want our button styles to be randomized. So I could use random.choice and then have a list of all these button styles here. But that's it for this video. Pretty simple to set up. Just be careful with the amount of buttons you have. Do keep it in mind that 25 maximum limit. But overall, this doesn't take much lines of code to get set up. Of course, if you do go the database querying route to get the self roles and the role IDs, the custom IDs, all that good stuff, of course, it'll take up more lines of code. But overall, we really just set this up in about 20 or less lines. But that is it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, if you want to stay tuned with me about the ending of this Discord.py series and when I plan to release the full course, be sure to join my Discord server. The link will be in the description. Also, don't forget to create yourself a free account on my official website, houseofcode.xyz. There you can share your own projects, your own code files, and you can even run them or execute them from the cloud by uploading them. And that's basically it for now. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a like and comment, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye, guys.